I will say that I really do not think the co-executor scenario is a good I don't think that is a good option. If I just from my vantage point, selling properties, I find that it really adds way more complexity than there has to be. It is and you know what's funny is that they actually in real estate, as far as a real estate sale goes, they usually will like they'll defer to one, right? So eventually they realize it's like, okay, we have to organize a Zoom call or a phone call every time we have to, make a critical decision. And then it's kind of annoying, right? Hey, it's like, okay, just call John. John will be the point
But
man. So
that
why not
puts
just
you
have
in a
one?
hard situation because you need to be talking to both of like, you have a
Right,
duty to talk
right,
to both of them. So it
right.
puts and that's what I tell them, same with, like, power of attorneys or that sort of thing. It's just you're making now third parties in a really hard decision, and if one brother's not picking up the phone and you have to talk to them about a deal, like, yeah, I'm with you. Try to just have one. If
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
diversify, maybe have one person as a power of attorney, one person as the executor, but making them work together as co's is usually never the answer.
So you discourage it.
Yes, most of the time, yes.
Okay. And so but the motivation of from the estate planning side, the motivation is what are they thinking? Is it kind of an idealistic thought like, "Oh, okay, when I die, this is gonna bring them together?"
Sometimes, yes, they're gonna have to work together to get the money. Other times is they just don't wanna pick a favorite. They don't wanna hurt the feelings of the other child to say, "I picked this person," and then some people, "Well, they picked him as the executor." Yeah, well, they're not gonna get everything. It's just the person who's gonna talk to the real estate agent. It's they think they're doing them a favor by including them both in the process, and more often than not, that's why, is because they don't wanna pick a favorite, and so they'll pick 2 and have them deal it out later. I had some brothers in yesterday who they were named as co-agents, and when I told them that our flat fee was gonna be more if they're both serving, they decided, "Okay, yeah, let's have this one do it." The other one declined to serve, so that way we're only dealing with one. Because on my side of it, if you're both serving, I now have to draft 2 of a lot of these, or you both have to come to court. It's usually families think that it's half the work if I name 2, but it's usually double the work if you name 2.
That's very interesting. See, this is the kind of conversation I think is very helpful. I always say, it's like a lot of things in life, we don't really learn about it until we're in the situation. So like take the situation, like when people find themselves in the situation, like they've never done it before. They don't know what the laws are. They haven't thought through all of these things. So I think this conversation is going to be very helpful to
Oh, I
whoever's
hope.
listening. Well, it's interesting. This is actually one of the reasons why I do the podcast is because there's not a lot of information out there, and also it's not just like a talking head, like just like okay, blah blah blah. I go on ChatGPT and create a little script or something, but to really hear it from, for example, in this case, with an attorney like yourself, an experienced attorney like yourself, just like what's going how do you think about it too? Because it's one thing to know kind of like this is what happens, but also how does the attorney think about it? Because that does provide some insight. For example, what you just said, I'd never really thought about that. It's like, okay, yeah, it's okay. You got two co-appointed people, but yeah, now I got to do 2 of these documents too. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's so you're multiplying, right? So most people probably, even I didn't even really think about that, but that is a factor that makes a lot of sense.